Yes.
Okay. For some reason in the studio, the screen switched between 1 and 2. So I'm glad that you told me that. Um, everyone can see that now. There's the tech sag, and feel free to uh, grab that. I actually have it here as well, so I'll give everyone a link. There's a link to the presentation if you would like that. And our objective is in 30 minutes, we'll provide information in 3 sections on the Canvas updates, general Canvas Q&A, and then open discussion and networking time. And we do this on the 1st of every month, except for in April, the 1st is on a Saturday, so we will do this on April 3rd. Other than that, we'll do this the 1st of every month at 10 o'clock, so hopefully you'll be able to join us for each of those upcoming sessions. And again, the focus of this series is to provide updates, provide some examples, just gather informally so that we can share any successes or issues that we are having with Canvas each month. So the first section, the Canvas updates. And when we talked last time, if you weren't here, just know that the releases typically occur on the 4th Friday of the month. It does vary sometimes, but typically that's when they come out. So that gives us a little bit of time to prepare for the presentation. That's why we do it on the 1st, so we have a little bit of lead time there. The first change is actually one that we talked about last month, if you were here, and that is the update to the front page. When we talked last month, it was supposed to roll out on the 1st, but it hadn't as of the time of the presentation. It showed up a day or two later for me, hopefully for all of you as well. A very small change, but in the course, in pages, the front page now shows up not as that gray square as it had for a number of years, but as a pill shape without a background. So again, some of the updates will be very small as we go through, but just be aware that they're there and things change. In fact, we were doing a session here in the office a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, oh, the front page icon changed. And they do pop out, even though they're small changes in many cases. A new language has been added. A Malaysian language has been added, and this is accessible in the course or the user settings. So an individual could, in their account, in the settings, choose the option to change the language, and there it is. It now shows up as the very first language in the settings. And then also in a course in the settings, an individual can change that as well. I don't do this very often, that one very often. Now, oh, there it is, language, there we go. The Malaysian language right there is available. So new options for individuals who may want that language setting is available both in the course and the user setting. And forgive me for floundering around there for a minute in the course settings. The third change in the gradebook, the missing status keyboard shortcut can now be used to set default grades. So if the status needs to be set, you can navigate to grades, and within grades, there is the option to select the 3 dots and set the default grade. And this can now be used as the MI setting can now be used to overwrite grades, which will overwrite everything as missing. So that could overwrite zeros, for example. If for whatever reason you wanted to overwrite already entered grades, you could do that. Most likely you wouldn't need to do that with the missing status, but you could. So it could take it from a 0 to missing, or however you would like to use that setting, or an instructor would like to use that setting, that is now available to set the default grade. So you can enter those characters in there as opposed to entering a numeric value. The next change is in the rich content editor. There are actually 2 updates in the rich content editor. The keyboard shortcut has been changed a little bit. So let's navigate back to the rich content editor. I'm just going to create a page to demo this. Of course, it will be present any place that you can use the rich content editor. So over here, the keyboard shortcut, the option O for Mac users has been disabled, and there is now this icon, which actually I thought this icon had been present for a long time. I know it's present other places, But according to the release notes, this is where the keyboard shortcuts can now be found. You can view all of them here. So those are the new keyboard shortcuts. Obviously, I'm using a Windows. They are a little bit different on a Mac, but the one that I noted earlier has been disabled on the Mac. And the ones that you see when you click the keyboard icon are the ones that will be usable on your particular device. So those have been updated in some cases. The one has been removed, but the option to see all of them is located there. Again, I thought it had been there, but it is indicated in the release notes it is new. I would also point out there are additional shortcuts available right here, and actually quite a few pop up. So there are other keyboard shortcuts other than the ones that are shown that can be used within the rich content editor. These being the most common, they are available right there. Another update, if users receive an announcement via email, a warning will remind them that the replies are public. So if an instructor posts an announcement and replies are enabled, the individuals in the course, the students who receive this, they will be notified that the reply will be posted to an announcement and will be seen by everyone. So that way, if they just choose to reply from the email, they are aware that that is going to be public in the course. So just a little extra layer of security there to ensure that students don't post something in the announcement reply that they don't want to be seen by the entire course. I don't know how much of an issue is, but I particularly like that update because I could definitely see that being an issue for those who receive those notifications via email and then perhaps accidentally replying to that. And then the last option is the last change rather is the rich content editor. There is now a copy and paste option. You can do this from Windows Explorer. You can do it from Mac OS Finder. You can do it from a web page. And I will demo all of those in just a minute. Now this is, it is live for instructors already, I believe as of last week at some point. And it should be live for students today. Again, sometimes when those changes roll out on the 1st, we don't see them right away on the 1st. It may take a day or two, but instructors should be able to do this right now. Students should be able to as well. I haven't received any verification of that. I'll need to talk to some of the student workers in our office today to see if they're able to do it when they use the rich content editor. But what you can do in the rich content editor here, so I have some examples. Here's what, again, I'm using Windows device, obviously, but on Windows Explorer, I can just grab a picture and I can bring that into the rich content editor and copy that in, or should be able to anyway. Worked when I demoed it earlier. Let's try it here. You can also do it from whoops, there we go. Second time's a charm, I guess. Just took a minute. And I can copy that picture in. I can also copy from a website. So I should be able to copy the image from here. And then I can paste, or I can right-click and paste, or I can do Control-V. Do notice that if you try to use the edit paste, you still receive an alert prompting you that the paste is not functional. So if I were to try to do that from edit and then paste, notice the browser doesn't support the direct access. I have to use either the keyboard shortcut or right-click on the mouse, again on the Windows device, and select paste. So I can insert pictures or other content just by dragging and dropping into the rich content editor. And I also can do that from a website. Do notice that sometimes you may receive an HTML tag or another tag associated with the photo. Just be aware that that does show up, and that is noted in the release notes, that it may display an HTML tag or other information associated with the picture. There was no other information given in the update as far as if that will be changed at any point in the future, but it was just noted. And again, that is live for instructors and should be live for students as well today, but we don't know for sure that at this point. I've not talked to any students. So those are the updates for the month. Again, nothing that is necessarily earth-shattering, but I always think it's nice to know what the updates are and how they impact our daily use with Canvas. And I failed to mention at the beginning, and I will do that right now. I'll jump back a few slides. The release notes, right here, there's a text tag. You can also just Google Canvas release notes and you will get them. You can see the page. You can read a little bit more in depth in terms of what is offered each month. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. Like I said, hopefully that provides you a quick 10-minute overview of what some of the updates have been in the last month. But I'm going to open it up for any Q&A or any anything that anybody would like to comment on, or just a chance to share. Typically, I try to divide this into two sections. It's a general Q&A about what we talked about, and then a networking and open discussion. This was really fruitful last month. I know we had a lot of questions about outcomes, and we ended up scheduling a couple of sessions that I think we were able to help out with a couple of departments or schools that were working on outcomes and get their questions resolved. So I'm going to stop talking and just open it up to any questions or thoughts, comments about anything that anyone would like to share or have comments on. And I see there were a couple people in the waiting room. I didn't see that till right now, so I apologize. Hopefully everybody got in. But let me know what questions you have, or we can just open up for a discussion. Okay, it looks like there are not a whole lot of questions, which is great. I'm going to drop the information in the chat. Just again, future trainings, we have a couple coming up. We have an end of semester checklist on April 24th. Again, hope to see you for the What's New in Canvas sessions. And you can always schedule an appointment or visit our office hours here at the Office for Academic Innovation.